Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, Ed McIntyre, and sat opposite me on the desk is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. How are you, Charles?
I'm doing good, mate.
Yeah.
Still a bit kind of tired, but
yeah.
Happy to be here, of course.
Yeah, you had a good week, yeah?
Yeah, it's been good.
Nice, and this is, not bad. This is the first podcast as well of two podcasts that we're recording this week. We're recording again on Thursday morning.
Yeah, double punishment this week, or benefits for you lot.
We're also joined in the studio again by Leeds fan and good friend of ours. It is Chris Chivers. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. How are you, Ed?
I'm not bad at all, thank you. Well, plenty to discuss here in this episode. We'll obviously look back at Leeds United's 2-0 win over Wigan away at the DW Stadium last Saturday. We'll also look at the Leeds United under-23s as they started their PDL title defence by beating Millwall 3-2 at Ford Parch. No transfer news to look at, which I'm kind of pleased about. But as always, in football and particularly at Leeds United, there's still plenty of news coming out of Ellen Road to look at, including the news that Leeds fans will now be able to sit in the away end on a match day at Ellen Road. Bit controversial. We'll discuss that. We will also look ahead to Leeds United's next game, of course, which is on Wednesday night. That sees them take on Brentford at Ellen Road. This is the All Things Leeds podcast. So we'll start then with Leeds United's game last Saturday. Leeds, of course, beating Wigan 2-0 away at the DW Stadium. Now, I wasn't able to watch the full game with my full attention. I was doing media work at Farsley. I did have it on the stream, though. I was watching two games at once. But Chris, you were there. What are your thoughts on the game?
Not terrible. We won, which is always a good sign. But if we played someone that had a bit more class and a bit more precision and knew how to, be attacking more than just sitting back all game, I think that could have cost us. Because although, yes, we got the win, they did look a little bit slow for what we're usually used to. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I think they could afford to do that in a game against Wigan. I'm just saying I don't think they could afford to do that against a different team.
Yeah.
But overall, you can't fault them. Two goals for Bamford, a good win.
First clean sheet of the season.
Yeah.
in the league.
I mean, I personally thought it was a good and professional away performance, to be honest.
I don't know. I thought we could have scored more, and I just feel like
I think you've got to punish a team more when they're down to 10 men for 69 minutes than we did.
Yeah, of course, Wigan did go down to 10 men on 21 minutes. Joe Williams receiving a second yellow and a red card for his challenge on Patrick Bamford. It was a bad challenge, wasn't it? It was a bad challenge.
Could have been a straight red.
Yeah, on any other day, it could have easily been a straight red card.
No one knew what was going on at the stadium because they got the free kick.
Yeah, for
a foul.
Forshaw fouling them.
And then we thought, that's just the movement he had from the foul. But then the ref gave him that second yellow, and everyone was over the moon, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Wigan's strategy was kind of just rather than allow us to run through them, was just to foul everyone they could from the offset. And the referee, fair play to the referee, actually did book a few of their players.
Yeah.
And a couple of because Ben White got booked in the first half as well, so a couple of our players. I was a little bit worried the referee might try and, like the referees try to do, trying to even it up and send off one of our players. I thought Ben White might be in a little bit of trouble. Just stick Cooper on the horrible challenges. You can just hang back and win the headers, mate.
Yeah.
It definitely was a red card, and even Paul Cook afterwards, fair play to him, they just say, that was a second yellow card. We're not disputing that. What he did dispute is he reckons that Phillips should have been booked for a similar challenge, but I don't think Phillips did a similar challenge to that, especially that second one. The second one was horrible.
Yeah.
He caught Bamford halfway up his shin with his studs up.
Yeah, it could have easily been a straight red card. Yeah, but definitely a sending off, and they're down to 10 men on 21 minutes, and the sending off changed the game, as a red card would change any game. And Leeds United again playing against 10-man Wigan. We all know what happened last time that happened.
I saw some people tweeting just
not again.
Can they have him back on?
Yeah.
I'd rather play 11-man Wigan.
Yeah, we don't need to remind anyone of what happened there. But we pushed on after they went down to 10 men. Bamford, of course, put Leeds United 1-0 ahead on 34 minutes. It was another hit cross from Harrison on the left, but Click got the ball on the right, crossed it in. Forshaw, 5 yards out, heading the ball onto the post. He should have been scoring there, really. But Bamford, right place at the right time to tap it in.
I mean, it was a good goal, to be fair. If you look, he actually does look at the goalkeeper before he scores. So he looks at where the goalkeeper is for once rather than just shooting. and then nicely slots it away. It was a beautiful, simple tap-in.
Yeah.
But you need to be in those positions to score him.
Exactly, because you can say all you want, it is a tap-in, but he is in the right place at the right time, and he's scoring goals, which is his job. He did almost miss, though. If he was any just a few yards backwards, that shot would have gone wide.
He did place it right in the corner, because I think he wanted to make sure, right, there's no way he's saving this.
I think
right in the corner.
But I think any other player in that situation would have just smashed the ball into the back of the net.
You risk smashing it, getting under the ball up against the crossbar, and you never know what's going to happen. You're better off just tapping it in, no messing about. Because players do from close range and sometimes smash it and hit the inside of the post or the crossbar or whatever. So he's done the right thing there. He's in the good bit of movement, perfect positioning for a centre forward.
Yeah.
And he's scoring goals. Obviously, we're going to go talk about the second one in a minute, but it's 3-3 for him. We pay him to score goals. He's got 3 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. But
3 league games, I should say.
He did almost miss that way. It looked like he had to set himself up onto his left foot. He does seem very one-footed, which I think is the issue with Bamford. He doesn't seem to want to hit the ball with his right foot. He's very confident on his left foot. But do you think that's a confidence issue as well, only being one-footed and being very left-footed?
I would. I don't know, because he doesn't seem like any of it's got to him. That's a credit to him, because his attitude. He doesn't seem like he's taking any criticism personally. At least he's not letting it show.
I mean, his celebration kind of shows that he's not.
Yeah, he's obviously no one likes people criticising them, but in his performance, I mean, he doesn't seem to lack confidence. And when he's making these runs in behind, he's always in the right positions. He's never afraid to have a go, which players which lack confidence would afraid to have a go. I don't think he's afraid to have a go. I think he knows that if he hits on his right, though, he could like with Harrison's the same. He's very left-footed. He's more than happy to do layoffs and hold up the ball with his right foot. It's just he'd rather get like any striker would rather have it on the stronger foot. His just happens to be left.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris Wood was his right. Chris Wood was very right-footed, but nobody even noticed that, because you don't really notice when players are very right-footed.
Yeah, and scoring a lot of goals as well.
Chris Wood didn't score. I can't remember many goals he scored with his left foot. It was always like aerial or on his right.
Yeah. You mentioned Harrison there. He had another very good game, I thought.
Yeah, he looked class.
I referred to Chris on this one because he was there, but from what I saw of the extended highlights, he looked like he was really putting Wigan under pressure on their back line.
Yeah, I mean, he looked something else on that wing. Him and it was Douglas just behind him. Those two working together is something else, because Wigan were trying to stop him making these runs. So all he had to do was pass it back to Douglas, and then Click had come from the middle to give him another option. And then all of a sudden you got 3-on-2 on that side. And it was just too much for Wigan, and credit to the team, they knew what they were doing. They had a game plan.
That's what Bielsa ball's all about, though, is overloading down the wings and overloading whenever you can. And so when we get Click and Harrison and Douglas down that, putting pressure on their centre back and left back, we're going to get some joy. Yeah. Especially when you're playing a team like Wigan, whose defence aren't the greatest, because they've conceded, what is it, like 9 goals in 3 games? They've conceded a lot of goals. I don't want to quote exactly. I'm pretty sure it's 8 or 9 goals in the first 3 games. So the defence is a bit porous at the moment. So you got to take advantage of that, especially when they're down to 10 men. Yeah,
definitely. Of course, it was 1-0 at half time, but Bamford again scoring 20 minutes into the second half on the 65th minute. It was from a corner, but we won the corner as Pablo Hernandez attempted a cross, but it was blocked by one of their defenders and went out. Yeah, it looked like a very clear handball. Should we have had a penalty there, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the ref didn't see it was a clear penalty.
Fair enough, the ref. The lino saw it. That was directly in line with it. The lino should have seen that. The referee was a little bit further away, but the lino had direct line of sight. He saw the ball hit his arm, go out for a corner, and just went, corner.
Yeah.
Like if you're a good liner there, you call the referee and go, that's a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have definitely had a penalty for handball, but we did score from the corner though. Bamford, I don't think he knew much about this. He just ran towards the ball and somehow knocked it into the back of the net.
I mean,
it was like a rugby try. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
He just kind of picked it, not with his hands, but with his feet, obviously, and just ran it as fast as he could.
Yeah.
It was kind of like barging people over the line as well. Wigan defenders were trying to stop him doing it. He just pushed him out of the way.
He just ran towards the ball and somehow tapped it into the back of the net.
Well, the thing is, he had 2. It was right in front of me. So he touched the ball, and then he kind of tried getting it out of his feet. Whilst he was getting it out of his feet, 2 Wigan players got in front of him. And then he kind of just kicked their feet into the ball, which ended up going in the net. Yeah. So all the scramble happened, I don't think he scored it. I think one of the Wigan players got.
No,
an
he
own goal.
definitely scored it. So replay.
I think one of the Wigan players got a last touch. I know it was going on target.
It would have been on target. It's his goal.
I mean,
if he's hit it and it's bouncing off one of the Wigan players, that's on target. That's still his goal.
Yeah, it's his goal.
He can have it. He can have it. I don't care. He can have it. But it was
it's only an own goal if it's off target and gets directed in by the opposition player.
But that's what I think. I think one of the Wigan players stopped it and then he kind of bundled them over.
Like it was like the goal that Forrest scored against us. I'm sure that was probably an own goal because it bounced over like 6 players bouncing into him.
But it's proven it.
But
Exactly.
it was given to Graben because it was on target.
Yeah, well, Graben did get the last touch into the back of the net,
Yeah.
I think. But so 2-0. Bamford, it's another tapping, but again, right place at the right time, and he's showing the right intention, going towards the ball, wanting to score, and of course he is scoring, which is his job.
You get these Bamford haters, particularly on like to Facebook, going, but he's only scoring tap-ins. It's like Chris Wood scored 27 tap-ins for us.
Exactly.
And we loved him for it.
Yeah.
It's like, so like, I don't understand why people have such this yearning to. I think it's just because he's kind of like, because he is a bit posh and he doesn't move. He's not very fast.
He looks weird when he runs as well.
He doesn't appear to look like he works for it. Even though he does work hard, he doesn't look like he works hard just because of the way he runs about.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like he's jogging most of the time, which people hate.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a kind of base kind of working class Tory hatred. I mean, people view him as this kind of like foppish violin playing kind of privately educated guy.
You got that parody Bamford Twitter account as well.
Which he is, but I'm not going to judge someone over the class because we've had some posh players and we've had some like proper working class players. The working class ones always seem to get more time to appease the fans basically, but he didn't really get much of a break. It's like he's only scoring tap-ins, but he is scoring.
Yeah, definitely. But 2 goals for him in this game, which is good, and hopefully that'll boost his confidence even more. And as Charles mentioned earlier, 3 goals in 3 games, which is good stuff. And you know what? Goals are goals, no matter how they're going in. Goals are goals, and if he keeps on scoring them, and we keep on winning games, and he keeps on getting more goals to his name, he could be one of the league's highest goal scorers at the end of the season.
Goals don't count for more just because you score a 40-yard screamer.
Yeah. Although it's nice to see,
and one's going off someone's ass, count the same.
Yeah. Although it's nice to see a 40-yard screamer. Tap-ins, the goals are goals at the end of the day, and if he's scoring goals, doing his job, and we're winning games, then happy days.
If he scores 30 of them, no one's going to moan.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Definitely not.
2-0 was, of course, the final score. We missed a couple more chances before the end of the game. Forshaw dragged a shot just wide of the right-hand post.
I really wanted him to score.
Yeah, it just wasn't his day, was it, Forshaw? He had a header 5 yards out, crashing off the post.
It wasn't his day, but he had a phenomenal performance. He just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, he had a very good performance, just couldn't score. His goal drought continues. Pablo Hernandez had a good effort from a free kick about 25 yards out. They were saved well by their goalkeeper, Marshall.
Really good save.
Their free kick late on in the game, that Casilla save was really good. That was a really good save.
Yeah, Casilla had another good game, first clean sheet.
That had a lot more pace on it. Hernandez's one was a bit slower in the air, so the keeper had more time to get over, but Keiko's save was a really good save.
Yeah.
He made a decent one in the first half.
Yeah, in the first half as well, yeah. And clean sheet for him, 2-0. Professional, good performance away at Wigan, and job done. And it's 7 points from 9, 2 wins in 3 games, 1 beaten still this season, though, of course. 3 games unbeaten in the league, of course, 1 in the Carabao Cup. Top of the league as well, on goal difference, which is a nice change, but there's 4 other teams on the same points as us, and right now the table...
Lee Boy is Charlton.
Yeah, but right now the table is pretty much pointless to look at, really.
Until October, it's not worth looking at.
Yeah, because only 3 games have gone. I think it's after about 6 or 10 games, and then the table kind of starts to even itself out. You can kind of guess where teams will be at the end of the season.
Sheffield Wednesday bounced from top of the league down to 6th inside 1 game.
Yeah,
as they struggle to beat 10-man Millwall, which amused me greatly.
Yeah. But the table right now, it is pretty much pointless to look at, really. It'll take another 6 or 7 games before the table starts to even itself out properly.
I remember last season when we beat Preston at home 3-0, that was when the table started to kind of take form. We knew we were going to be up there, and that was in the middle of September. So, yeah, there's a while yet till we see where we're going to be, but
Yeah.
Got a great start.
Yeah, definitely nice looking at Leeds United at the top of the table, and up for hopefully we remain there until the end of the season. That'll be very nice. But something tells me that may not happen. Well, moving on to the Leeds United under 23s then, and they also managed to pick up a victory this week. They managed to beat Millwall 3-2, 5-goal thriller at Thorpe Arch as they began their defence of the PDL title. Quite a strong side as well. Alioski, Clark, Shackleton, Helder Costa started. NkGhTg and Bavardi won the bench. Elan Meslier also started. Charles, were you surprised to see such a strong lineup play?
I wasn't, because we know what Bielsa's like with the under-23s. He treats it as training games, basically, to keep everyone match fit, keep everyone kind of up to speed. I was really impressed with Streak in this game. I'm really, really impressed. I'd love it for him to kind of break through this season a bit more, because he's such an impressive, comfortable centre-back.
Yeah, definitely.
And unlike the rest of our centre-backs, he's huge.
Yeah, and of course he put Leeds United 1-0 up on 40 minutes as well. And it wasn't from a corner, it wasn't a header like centre-backs usually score. It's a nice finish, really.
It was like, remember Cooper's goal against Ipswich last year where he kind of side-footed it top corner?
Yeah.
It was more or less the same type of goal. Alioski worked it in from the byline, kind of slided it across, and he just side-footed top corner. Great goal. Yeah. And he deserved it because he was having a quality game.
Yeah. 1-0 at half-time, 2-0 up on 56 minutes. It was great play as well from Leeds United under 23s and a great goal. Jack Clark starting it off, great ball through to Jordan Stevens on the left. First time pass across to NkGhTg in the middle. And he's finishing first time as well.
It was almost identical to that first goal against Salford.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, instead of Shackleton's through ball, it was Clark's through ball up to Stevens, and he fed it just across the line, and NkGhTg was there, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Once again, tap-ins. Who doesn't love a tap-in?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that made it 2-0. Millwall did come back into the game. They made it 2-1 on 75 minutes. It was a penalty. It was saved.
Good save.
Yeah, good save from Elan Meslier, but they scored on the rebound.
Defenders let him down a bit there, because they should have been in with the striker. Was it Mitchell who scored the first goal?
Billy Mitchell scored the second goal.
Who scored the first one?
I'm not sure. Leeds United didn't put on the 12.
Right. Well, they whoever it was, the defenders should have been in there with him quicker than they were. Although I was interested to see the back line was made up of a right back. The back three centre backs was a right back, a centre mid, and a centre back. Because McCalmont was in there, as was Bryce Susanna.
Yeah,
and they aren't centre backs.
No, I mean we barely have any centre backs, really, do we?
Yeah, we're struggling. If
we had got that lad from Inter Milan, that centre back from Inter Milan, then we would have
that Ryan Nolan. Yeah, whatever happened.
The reason why he didn't happen, I heard, was Leeds wanted to send him out on loan as soon as he got to the club, which he wasn't happy with. He wanted to stay at the club.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Which is a bit of a stupid move by Leeds, because we could have just stuck him in the
Because we need centre backs. We need centre backs for the under-23s now as well.
Right, we could say to him, all right, yeah, you're going to be in the under-23s, but we'll probably let you captain them, and you might break through if you're good enough.
Yeah,
and then that would be it. He would be signed.
Because we need another centre. We only have one centre back for the under-23s in Pascal Struick. I mean, he's a good centre back, but he can't do it all on his own. But yeah, that was 2-1 in 75 minutes. As we just mentioned, Billy Mitchell made it 2-2 on 79 minutes. Disappointing that we were 2-0 up and let them back into it to draw 2-2, wasn't it?
It was kind of like 5 minutes of madness between about 75 and 80 minutes where we got very, very clumsy. We didn't seem to be closing anybody down. It was kind of like Reading last season, when we were 3-0 up away, and we just kind of, second half, we just weren't really bothered. We barely run around. It was like a training game. We were just passing it about, and we were just being very clumsy. We weren't closing anyone down. This goal was a classic example of giving someone way too much time on the edge of your box to just line up the shot. And we let him line up the shot. Someone could have put a foot in. They could have closed him down, jockeying him away from goal. But it was allowed to shoot, and it was a good finish. Meslier couldn't really do much. It was bottom corner. Yeah. And no saving that.
But it's a learning curve there, though, that we were 2-0 up, we were cruising, and we'll let them back into it. And probably a mentality kind of thing. They probably thought, yeah, we won this game, we're 2-0 up.
Yeah,
they haven't done anything.
It was just 5 minutes of madness, but we kind of made up for it. The free kick, the Bogusz free kick, was funny because Bogusz got fouled, but as he got fouled as he went down, he two-footed one of their players as he went down, and their player was down for like 5 minutes. And he still got the free kick, because obviously he was fouled first, but he definitely fouled possibly even a red card foul on this other guy.
It doesn't matter. He still got the foul.
But,
he scored.
But he won the free kick, and then I think McCalmont wanted to take it, but Bogusz insisted on taking it.
I'm glad he did.
And he scored.
Yeah, it did take a wicked deflection, but still went in.
Right, Ed thinks it took a big deflection. Me and Chris think it took a slight deflection, but
it did take a deflection.
From the angle,
anyway.
you can't. The angle, the LUTV angle, you couldn't really see how big the deflection actually was.
Yeah,
I think it's a kind of a minor one. I think it was going kind of bottom right corner anyway, and it just because the keeper died the wrong way. I thought if it was on target, that was going in, and it went in. And we. A last-minute winner against Millwall is always very funny.
6 minutes into added time, of course. I don't know where that came from.
With the free kick,
that guy fouling
the free kick we possibly didn't deserve. Given the foul on Bogusz was quite a minor foul. The foul he committed when he was being fouled was a major one.
But Bogusz winning it for us, your man, Chris Bogusz.
I'm so happy a Polish person scored this weekend. Main thing is, he's getting game time. He's scoring goals. I think he's going to be another click. I think
I would like him to get more game time in the cups, personally.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
because he played against Salford, didn't he? And he didn't even feature. He was on the bench, but he didn't come on.
We played Click for 90 minutes, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah,
Click played every game last season, and I think he's one of like 5 or 6 players to have ever done it for Leeds. He's played every game in the season, and towards the back end, he did look a bit knackered. It looked a bit kind of.
Well, he even said so himself in the second half of the season. He wasn't as good as his first half, and I do think it is because he's playing so many games.
He got 10 goals in the whole season. I think he scored like 7 of them before January.
Yeah.
So you could really see that he kind of slowed down over the new year. That is one of Bielsa's weaknesses, though. He's got loyalty to his players, but his willingness to change things up and refresh a squad he's not very willing to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining because he's world-class manager at my club.
Because it's Bielsa.
You don't talk to Bielsa.
Best football I've seen in my lifetime at Leeds United.
Yeah, hands down. But 3-2 win there for the Leeds United under-23s over Millwall at Thorpe Arch. A great start to our PDL title defence.
I'm really confused with this PDL. So was we supposed to get promoted?
I think you've got to have a Category 1 academy to be allowed into the Premier League.
Yeah.
So we've only got a Category 2.
Yeah.
Which means we're not allowed into it.
So how do we get a Category 1?
I think you've got to invest a lot more money into your academy. And you've got to have I think it's proven quality of players over time, over like a period of time. I'm not sure what the exact requirements are, but I think you've just got to invest more money into your academy.
Yeah, you've got to be like a Chelsea academy, something like that.
So you've got to have a certain quality level of complex as well. Because Thorpe Arch is a good complex, but I'm sure that Ed will be searching up the requirements now.
Yeah, I am.
And it'll make me look like an absolute mug when he finds out the actual requirements.
All they need is a little stadium with about 10,000 seats.
No, I think you just need a certain level of facilities. Because Man City's facilities they're basically, it's like a League 2 stadium.
Definitely, yeah.
You need to be Category 1. Category 2 clubs compete in 2 regional divisions before vying for the national title, it says here.
Which Leeds won.
Which Leeds won, yeah.
Yep.
So at that point, if I was Rads...
We've got knocked out in the semi-finals in the Cup by Fulham as well, so we literally almost did the double.
I think if I was Rads, I'd be looking at it like, right...
Was it Fulham or Newcastle? It was one of them.
I think it was Fulham. I think so.
One of them. It was either Fulham or Newcastle that knocked us out in the Cup. I think it
was Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
All right. So if I was Rads, personally, I'd be looking at this like, right, this is a great opportunity that we know if they do it consistent 2 years in a row, I think if they hold the title defence, Rad should be thinking, hang on here, they might be able to do better.
The academy has always been
one of
the best weapon this club has ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
The
amount of players we produced.
It saved us over the years when we've been absolutely on our arse financially.
Yeah.
And we've had players like Lewis Cook come through and Calvin Phillips come through.
Sam Byram
come through.
Alex Mowat.
James Milner, Fabian Delph.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as much as he kind of got a bit of stick afterwards, Alan Smith came through and he was a phenomenal player before he went to Scum. So we've always produced quality players that have saved us. And now, for a few years, we neglected the academy, and and the club struggled as a result. And now we've pumped loads. Fair play to Rajazani and Victor Rock. They pumped loads of money into the under-23s, bought loads of players, and we went from a team that finished bottom of the Development League 2 for ages, and then we won the title. I mean, obviously that's got to do with Carlos Colbrand's coaching as well. I think he's quite a good coach. But we've bought such good players, the likes of Pascal Struijk and Jack Clark and Ryan Edmondson, and a few of them have moved on now, but Clackador.
Yeah.
McCalmont's looking very good. Jamie Shackleton's a quality player. I mean, we've had him for a few years. They didn't buy him, but he's been brought on by Corbran. So it has always been the kind of lifeblood of the club.
Yeah, we have a great system there in the under-23s, and it's great stuff what they're doing down there, and for many years as well. Well, on to other news then, and the documentary is now out. Take Us Home, Leeds United, now available to watch on Amazon Prime Video. Came out last Friday. I watched the entire thing last Friday. I binge watched it, 6 hours long.
I had work.
Yeah.
So I watched 2 hours of it on the night, and then went to work on 4 hours sleep because I had to get up really early in the morning. And then when I got in from work, I watched the rest of it.
Yeah, worth it. Worth getting 4 hours sleep to watch it.
I wanted to watch the first couple of hours because the first couple of hours are really good because it's the start of the season and we're sick.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. There's no spoilers here. No spoilers, so don't worry about that. But
Pikachu dies in Endgame. There's your spoiler.
But yeah, it's a very, very good documentary, isn't it, Charles?
The quality is very good. There's certain things I like more than others, and there's a bit of a split opinion on it whether or not it's just a vanity project for Radrizzani. Well, I think particularly, I mean, I can't say anything about the. Don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything. But some aspects of it I love. Some aspects of it I think wasn't really necessary. But if you want to relive the joys and unfortunately the lows of last season, that it is a really good. It's almost like a Greek. It got described by somebody. I can't remember who it was. It's kind of like watching a Greek tragedy, like a Shakespearean play. It's beautiful to watch because the fans, the quality of football. You get interviews with, obviously this isn't a spoiler, it's common knowledge that Bielsa does an interview during the documentary. Everyone knows that, that's not a spoiler. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff and all the kind of, the transfer windows are both done very well, documented very well. So it's really well worth a watch. I understand some people don't really want to watch it because the wounds are still fresh, and I'll be honest, I struggle to watch it at times. Yeah, I got to. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say any events, but certain episodes, certain things I thought that was a proper sliding doors moment. That if we'd have won that game, if we'd have done this differently, if that had gone in, particularly this isn't a spoiler because it happened and everyone knows about it. But the Tyler Roberts shot against Sheffield United at home at 0-0 when he hits the post. Yeah, if that goes in, we win that game. And we go 6 points clear of Sheffield United, and we come second, and we go up. So you see that, and you think, right, that was a proper crossroads moment. But there's plenty of ones that have gone the other way as well. When you think, you look at the likes of Blackburn at home and Villa away, and you think that was a special moment. Yeah, because we could have easily drawn or lost those games. Yeah, exactly, and that was part of that big 7-game run, which went really well and got us loads of points. But it's really well worth a watch. I know I'm rambling a bit. So. Yeah, no, it definitely is worth a watch. It's great. It's fantastic quality, and it's great to understand what it is like behind the scenes at Leeds United. It looks like a great environment for everyone to work in. Yes, there were a lot of lows last season, but the overall mood of everyone at the club did seem good. Positive. Yeah, it was very good. Also, I realised. I mean, I know this from hearing about the programme and seeing his interviews, but Angus Kinnear's a funny bloke. He's great in his Angus Kinnear. Victor Orta as well, he's just an absolute madman as well. He bleeds Leeds as a Victor Orta. He gets. I've never seen anyone who was not associated with the club emotionally get so emotional about it. Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, he was great. I think he just loves the sport. Looking at him, he loves to put all his money and his time behind something that he can be as passionate about as the fans can be in the club. And it clearly shows in the documentary. By the way, I've only seen 3 episodes. So that's another reason we can't spoil it, because Chris hasn't actually seen it. Yeah, I've seen half of it. We've seen half of it, yeah. He hasn't seen the entire series. Yeah. But he shows his class. And to be fair, a lot of people are saying, I didn't really have too good thoughts about Radrizzani or before the documentary watching it. I have more respect for them now. And you're hearing a lot of that, to be fair. Yeah. But there's certain interesting things I really want to talk about, but I can't because of Chris. Exactly. We'll promise no spoilers. We'll do a special one week where we just talk about the documentary. Should we leave it like another month and then we'll do a proper review? Leave it 1 or 2 weeks and then we'll come back in the studio. Us three will come back in the studio and we'll do a big review of the documentary. If you've not seen it by then you're not going to see it. Yeah, 2 weeks. Because someone will have spoiled it for you by then. Yeah, but I do feel a lot closer to the club now. Somehow I love Leeds United more than I already did. It was nice to just see how professional the club was actually run, because sometimes you see stuff that happens at the club and you think, what the hell is going on here? Like, particularly when you're following Leeds and the club is just, it's mental most. It's like a roller coaster ride with those seatbelts most of the time. It's just up and down all the time. But to see how professionally the club is actually run, and it was just brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was very emotional as well. And as you mentioned, it was great to see how professional the club has run after the years that we've had of Cholino, GFH. But right now, just watching it was like, we're a proper football club again. Yeah,
and I saw a Sunderland fan tweet about the documentary. He said, I watched this, and it was nice to just watch a documentary about a club that's actually properly run, because he said when I watched the Sunderland Till I Die one, it was just like it was just horrible, because it was my club and it was just going down the pipe, and it was clearly run by idiots.
I did enjoy watching that. I don't. It's not because this is my club, I support Leeds United, but I'd say that our documentary is the best football documentary that's out there. I think it is better than All or Nothing Man City documentary.
It was far more stressful watching this one than it was watching the Man City one or the Sunderland one. Obviously, because I've got an emotional stake in Leeds.
Yeah.
But I thought production value was brilliant on this. But I did really enjoy Sunderland Till I Die, and I know it's a Leeds podcast, but you should definitely watch that as well.
Yeah, Sunderland Till I Die.
As a football fan, you should watch that one, because you'll see exactly how many mercenaries can be at a club like Jack Rodwell. And,
Jack Rodwell, yeah.
We've got Vernon Eater. Vernon Eater is the Jack Rodwell of Leeds United.
He is.
On huge money, refusing to leave.
He is. I didn't really enjoy Manchester City's All or Nothing.
I thought it was just a bit. It was a bit Hollywood, and there was no downs in the documentary. Watching that documentary was like, all right, it's going well. Right, they've won the league. And then it's over. It's like there was no, like with Sunderland Till I Die in the Leeds one, there was a few ups in the Sunderland one, not many, but there was a few, and then there was a load of, I swear there, a load of downs.
Yeah.
Whereas the Leeds one was very ups and downs, as the song goes.
Yeah, I feel like we had more roller coaster. As such, ours was the best roller coaster.
Even in the later episodes, there was still a few ups.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I'm going to take your word for it, and I'll tell you.
I'm obviously. No spoilers. So
But yeah, it is very good. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. If you're thinking, I don't really want to pay for it and watch it, because it is worth watching.
We're not
use someone else.
Don't you get a 30-day free trial?
Yeah, you get a 30-day free trial.
Watch it. Cancel the free trial.
That's all you need to do, and then you'll see how good it is, because
do not give Jeff Bezos any more money than he already has. He's not the second richest man in the world. Do not feel guilty about conning him.
Didn't his wife take like half of his?
Yeah, she took like 40 billion off him. That's got to be the greatest divorce of all time.
Yeah, but yeah, it is very good. It is a very emotional series, especially the last episode 6. Everyone knows how that finished.
I'll be honest, spoilers aside, and I'm not spoiling anything here, that broke my heart watching that last episode.
That last episode was good.
It was like I don't know if I can swear, but I said to my dad afterwards, it was like being Crane kicked in the nuts watching that last episode.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna watch it, guys. I've made that conscious decision.
You need to watch it.
I'm gonna watch them all.
Honestly, I got to end of episode 4. I went downstairs, and my dad was watching the first episode. I went downstairs. I watched the first episode again with my dad, purely to kind of build up the resolve to go upstairs and watch the 5th and 6th episode. It's like I physically couldn't do it.
Yeah,
it took me a while to build up the kind of. I had to sit there and force myself sometimes to stay watching it, because I thought this is.
It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's very emotional. I just blitzed it though. I just went first episode.
10-man Wigan took some prep. I'll be honest, that took some prep to watch. Because when I watched that first time, I was fuming. Even though because we went to the Dragon afterwards, and I was sat there with my pint, and I was just livid.
Yeah. I think everyone was livid, but yeah, it's definitely good. It does shed a lot of light on things, especially the Dan James saga. That's in episode 3. That you get.
That's a perfect example of how Victor Orta and how much he cares about this club.
Yeah, definitely. He was definitely. So definitely watch episode 3. It sheds a lot of light on the Dan James saga, and yeah, it's just a fantastic documentary.
Looks into Spygate a lot.
Yep, it's a fantastic documentary. Definitely give it a watch. Before we discuss the game this Wednesday, of course at home to Brentford, you might not know this already, you might do, but you may see some Leeds fans in the away section at Elland Road. This is because Leeds United are now letting Leeds fans purchase tickets in that area if the away fans haven't managed to sell enough tickets, which would force the lower section to open. Charles, thoughts on this?
I mean, it's as blatant a money-grabbing scheme as I've ever seen, because barely any away fans sell out, so imagine thought, well, Leeds fans will sell out, so just stick them in there. This might work if they put a load of stewards in between the two sets of fans.
They need very good security and segregation, because
if they do that, then we'll make loads of money. But then again, we'll have to pay all these stewards.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think they'll do it for like games like Millwall or Sheffield.
But imagine if they did, though. There'd be a lot of fights, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I can't imagine them doing it. Like at Wigan made the one mistake of opening hospitality for both Leeds fans and Wigan fans.
Unless they only do a split away end for like Category C games or something like that.
Well, that's what I think they will be doing.
We're playing the likes of, I don't know,
Brentford,
Blackburn or someone like that.
Yeah.
Where you can just stick people in and no, like they don't like us, but they're not going to kick off. Like Millwall, if they stick a thin line of stewards between Millwall fans and Leeds fans, and we score, they're going to massively kick off.
Yeah. Definitely. But you do have that risk, though. The away fans are sat above the home fans. They could fill cups.
That's what I'm about, like a line of stewards literally stood on, in the seats.
It's stuck. There's a gap between them anyway. Like there's an upper tier and a lower tier.
You can still throw bottles down. You can still they're probably piss in a cup and throw it over the home fans.
That's what I'm meaning about the whole Category C thing. They would have to do it on kind of tame games which don't require any. All these games require police presence, but very, very limited police presence. Yeah,
but they could still do that. So any away fans could do it. It's football at the end of the day. The fans aren't nice.
I get why Rads is doing it, because now the rule is you don't have to give 10% of your stadium to away allocation. It's only 5%.
Yeah.
So you might as well make as much money as possible. If anything,
I think they should up it to 20% of your stadium.
Well, I don't agree with that, because then that's just taking stuff away from us as home fans. But 10% was a good balance.
You say that, but our away section is about 6,000. Is it full? I don't know what the full away allocation of Ellen Road is. I would imagine it's around the 6,000.
I think it's about 6,000.
So,
but you say that they should up at 20,000. It's 10,000 at the moment. Not everyone sells out. So what would be the point in upping it to 20% rather?
I'm saying that selfishly from a Leeds fan point of view, where we got these tiny grounds and the allocator's like 800 seats or something, and it's in because they don't have to and they don't want to, because we just cause trouble and they don't sell us alcohol.
Yeah,
it's frustrating for me, because fans are what make the game, and if you have no away fans at a game, we've had games at Ellen Road before where there's been like we played like Burton Albion and there's been like 10 guys and a dog and it's been boring. It's like I want loads more away fans, and if there's not going to be away fans, then I understand why Rajasthan is doing it, because Leeds fans will sell out the bottom tier and make a lot more money.
Yeah, but it is very controversial though, and
if it were up to me, I would sell Leeds fans the top tier and not the bottom tier, but that's up to me.
Yeah, it's very controversial, and they need to be careful. They need to be careful what games they do it for.
I would purely do it for Category C games.
If they do it for games like when Leeds are playing Millwall, then that's dangerous. And there's probably going to be some. Yeah, and then there's probably going to be some problems there. But yeah, the away section is now open to some Leeds United fans. There will be separate entrances. Don't worry, if you're going in there, you're not going to be in the same concourse as the away fans. It's going to be separated.
I say we try it one day.
Yeah,
if you do that on Millwall, you will get
not Millwall, but we should try it one day just to see what it's like, because none of us
have
ever sat in that section.
Even if you sit on like the furthest kind of west end of the south stand, you're still close enough where you think if this kicks off, the fans are going to be able to reach each other.
And
if you're sat below them,
surely be a good experience, sir.
The thing is, if it sounds fun, because if Leeds score, you get to turn around and just mug off the away fans like from 20 yards.
Yeah.
But if they then like massively kick off, then you're in huge trouble.
Yeah, and they're going to start chucking stuff down at you.
You probably won't get glass, because they don't sell glass in Ellen Road.
No,
and they won't allow you through with glass.
Bottles, chairs.
Seats, if they rip them off, you might get seat lobbed. Like those Italian games where they'll lob like wheelchairs at you down from upper tiers.
Yeah. So
they're all insane.
Yeah, so it is very controversial.
I'm not saying all Italians are insane. I'll clarify that. I'm not a racist.
Yeah. So it is very controversial. They're doing it for the first time on Wednesday night against Brentford. It'll be interesting to look at that and see how that works out.
But that's sold out.
Yes,
Brentford sold out, so
they've sold the top section. The bottom section is for Leeds fans now.
Yeah, and we've sold that out as well.
Yeah,
already. So
it'll be interesting to see how that works.
When I always see like other fans of other teams, they always go, "Oh, but you never sell out Ellen Road." It's like, well, home section 90% of the time sells out. It's purely because the away tickets are so expensive. The away fans don't sell out. Therefore, we don't get a sell out at the stadium. Whereas if this new scheme works, then because in the Stoke game they've only given them Stoke like 1,000 seats, I imagine the rest of them will be given to Leeds fans. So that we probably won't start for a cup game, but you can understand the kind of the thought behind it. We will get a higher attendances, more money, and we'll be able to turn around to the clubs and say nearly every week, 37,000.
Yeah.
what are you going to do about that?
Yeah. Well, let's move on then to the game on Wednesday night. Leeds United, of course, taking on Brentford at Elland Road. We, of course, go into it unbeaten in our first 3 league games, 4 unbeaten, no competitions. Of course, we beat Bristol away 3-1 of the opening day of the season. At home, drew 1-1 to Forest, and then 2-0 away at Wigan last week. Brentford have had a mixed start to their season. They lost 1-0 at home to Birmingham City on the opening day. They then beat Millwall 1-0 away. The first round of the Carabao Cup, they lost 5-4 on penalties to Cambridge United. In their last game, they drew 1-1 at home to Hull City. So early doors, Brentford don't look too good. Charles, what kind of game are you expecting on Wednesday?
I saw that Birmingham game the first week of the season when they were playing them, and they did a classic Birmingham on them where they had like 20% possession and then basically shit hours the 1-0 win, which is what Birmingham always do.
Yeah.
The second game they won?
They beat Middlesbrough.
Yeah, they beat Middlesbrough
away.
Yeah, because everyone beats Middlesbrough because they're crap. They lost in the cup. That's obviously second string side. You can't really take that much into account. The draw at home to Hull, I think Bowen scored in that one.
Yeah.
And Hull's always a weird one because sometimes they turn up. They're a very inconsistent team. Hull. Sometimes they turn up. Sometimes they don't. We always struggle against Brentford. Always. Particularly at their place. I know this is at Elland Road, but even at Elland Road, like Ollie Watkins will probably inevitably cheat in this game once again.
Yeah, Brentford have always been good defensively. Like,
they play really good football as well, and we play good football, so it will be an entertaining fixture to watch, I imagine. And they've lost Mopé, which is good.
Yes, he's gone to Brighton.
They've lost somebody else as well. Who else did they lose? They've lost somebody else. I can't remember who it is.
But then they've gained. They've gained our
former player Pontus Jansson, of course, moved there in the summer. Chris, what kind of reception do you think Pontus Jansson will get from Leeds fans?
I think it'll be positive. I don't think people, because I've been seeing a lot on Facebook, comments are like, "Oh, what kind of reception are we going to give Pontus?" And I think he's just another. At this point, he's just another player for another team. He isn't. He was big for us, and we appreciated him, and he did a lot for the club. But at the same time, his attitude and stuff like that, he was very self-centred.
Yeah.
And I think now a lot of Leeds fans have come to light that he was very self-centred, and now they're realising, hang on, is that someone we want to associate with our club? The reason why he left, I think a lot of Leeds fans are going to be questioning. Well, he wasn't a true loyal.
It was his own fault.
Yeah, it was his own fault.
He has to return 2 weeks later for international duty, purely so he didn't have to do all Bielsa's pre-season running. That's just laziness.
He did say though that it was because of Leeds United's FFP problems as well. Whether you believe that or not, but Pontus Jansson, it will be interesting.
Like PR to me.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see if Pontus Jansson does get a good reception.
I do not think he will get a positive reaction from the fans, purely because we are quite a bitter fan base, and whenever a player leaves us, we abuse them. I
mean, especially if Pontus Jansson starts winding up the Leeds United fans, and then he'll get a lot of stick.
If he just turns up, plays the game, particularly if he loses and still, if he loses and then goes on to clap the Leeds fans, then he's going to get a good reception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they're winning, particularly, and he winds the Leeds fans up, he's going to get a horrendous reception.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of stick.
His reception will depend on his attitude during the game.
Yeah, definitely.
If he defends well and they get a draw, get a win against us, but doesn't take the piss, then he's not going to get that negative reception at all. But given the kind of us against them mentality that's kind of bred into every Leeds fan, he is a former player and he will probably get a bit of stick. But
you know what I'd love to see? If we win and then Pontus does his little cheer thing at the end of it, like he did at every game when we used to win games.
I said to Chris on the way up, I would love it if Pablo Hernandez nutmegged him during the game. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, as well, the last time Patrick Bamford faced Pontus Jansson, he scored a hat-trick. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that was a couple of years ago. Though.
Yeah, of course, for Middlesbrough against us.
Actually, no, it was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. As you mentioned, though, we do have a bad record against Brentford overall. 3 losses in our last 5 meetings with them. The other 2 was a draw and a win. We do have a good record at home, though, as we haven't beaten in our last 4 meetings at Ellen Road. 2 wins and 2 draws. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw at Ellen Road last season in October. We were absolutely robbed in that game.
The worst referee performance I think I've ever seen.
Yes, and Pontus Jansson as well in his post-match interview with Sky said the S word. But yeah, Brentford, they're currently 12th on 4 points, 3 points above relegation zone. Of course, we're top on 7 points. As I said earlier, the table is very close still, and as I said earlier, the table is irrelevant right now at the moment. Do you think, Chris, it'll be an unchanged lineup from the Wigan game?
I'm going to wait for... Has Bielsa had his press?
It's today.
Today.
Later today.
I reckon
that we're recording Tuesday, and I'm going to be there. So
I reckon he'll do the same thing as he did for the Wigan press conference. He'll talk about his letter he got and how he was told off for...
It will be the same lineup. It will be the same lineup.
Yeah. He'll say between... Yeah, the same lineup.
None of the first team players I thought were... They were good. They weren't outstanding in the under-23s game. I can't see him making any changes. And he's loyal as it is, so he probably will.
Yeah, I mean, we know Bielsa. We've had him for a year now. We've won our last game. He'll keep it unchanged unless there are any injuries, which I'm sure that he'll tell us in the press conference ahead of this one. Score predictions then, Charles. What you going for?
I can see both teams scoring in this game. Personally, I think it'll be I don't like not predicting a Leeds win, but I think it'll be a draw.
A draw?
I think we do tend to draw at home against Brentford, and they're a good side, but they're lacking Mopé, so.
And they have had a fairly mixed start to the season.
Mixed form, so I'll go for 2-1 win. I think they'll still score.
2-1.
Probably have a terrible set piece.
I reckon I hate to say this. I reckon Pontus will score off of a corner just because...
And he'll celebrate as well.
I don't think he will.
Celebrate.
I think he won't celebrate out of respect for us, but I think we'll win 2-1.
He'll celebrate.
2-1. I'm going to go 2-1 as well.
Wouldn't surprise me if he celebrated running towards the Leeds bench.
I'm going to go 2-1 win to Leeds United as well.
Get Slimman Rani in there just to chin him as he gets close.
I'll go 2-1 as well. So we're all predicting 2-1 wins for Leeds United, and it'll certainly be interesting. It should be entertaining. Both teams do play nice football, and Pontus Jansson, it'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets from the Leeds United fans. But we're all going 2-1 wins. We're pretty confident. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 30 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Then, thank you very much to Charles as always for joining me in the studio.
Cheers for having me, mate.
And thank you to Chris Chivers as well for coming in. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again.
And if you enjoyed, then why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there. Share the podcast around as well. Help us out. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Me and Charles, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, we'll be back later on this week. We'll be back on Thursday. What are you saying? I turned your microphone off.
Oh, sorry. I said it'd be like we never left.
Yeah.
back in 48 hours.
Yeah. But yeah, we will be back on Thursday to look back on the Brentford game, which hopefully is a Leeds United win. And we'll look ahead to the next couple of games for Leeds United. But for now, thank you very much for listening. Take care, and we'll see you later.